Welcome to Thrifty Tips for Retirees, the show dedicated to helping you stretch your dollars further, embrace frugality, and live your best life on a budget. We believe that being thrifty isn't about being cheap. It's about being resourceful, creative, and downright clever. Join us on this episode of Thrifty Tips to learn how you too can live a rich life on a tight budget. Today's thrifty tip topic is 9 thrifty gardening hacks for retirees. So for many, gardening it's not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And, as such, it can be pretty easy to get carried away and spend a little too much on things like tools, planters, fencing. I know that when I go to the garden center, I just want to buy all the little trinkets and decor. I want garden gnomes galore. I just go crazy. So, it can be fun to have the latest and greatest equipment. And obviously it's gratifying to see all of your hard work come to fruition. But, let's get real. The prices of just about everything have gone way up. Inflation, it's still there. It's not going to be long until all of our favorite things become too expensive to really enjoy. So that's why we put together these tips. So here's 9 gardening hacks that are going to save you money. Tip number 1 that I have for you. I want you to snag discarded pots from garden centers. Let me say that again because I feel like a lot of people overlook this. Snag discarded pots from garden centers. Here's what I mean. Have you ever been to your local garden center or maybe like your Home Depot, and you notice like a huge pile of dirty discarded pots somewhere in the store? Those pots, they're not lying around by mistake. Stores, they save used and damaged pots to recycle. And more times than not, if you ask, they'll just give them away. So next time you go to your local garden center or Home Depot or Lowe's and you see one of those big piles laying around, look through it. See if you find something that, looks nice, fits your style, whatever. And just be sure to ask first before you go ahead and take one. But yeah, lots of times they're up for grabs. My thrifty tip number 2 for saving money on gardening is you always want to propagate when you can. So if you don't know what propagating is, it's when you take part of a plant to make a whole plant. There are lots of indoor and outdoor plants you can do this with. The most common way to propagate is by cutting a piece off at the stem. Then you place it in water, and when roots begin to grow, you plant it. Of course, different species of plants, indoor, outdoor, they all have their different rules. So just whatever plant you're trying to propagate, make sure you do your research first. But other than that, once you know what you're doing, it's really as simple as, cut, water, plant, and you have a brand new plant for free. This is going to sound like common sense. I'm sorry if it is, but it's important. So I'm going to say it anyway. Take care of your tools. How many of you have spent a long day outside and, your back hurts, you have sunburn because you forgot to wear your hat or you forgot to put on sunscreen, something, and you've got your tools and they're all dirty and you're like, whatever, I'll clean those later. What's that going to leave you? Rusty tools. Proper upkeep on all your tools. That's shears, shovels, snips. Yeah, even lawnmowers. It can save you hundreds simply because you're not going to have to go out and get new ones. So terracotta pots, they're essentially unglazed clay. And when you leave them outdoors in the winter months, they can be subjected to their greatest enemy, snow. Terracotta pots are subjected to I can't talk today. Terracotta pots that are subjected to lots of water, from snow, as opposed to the usual amounts that you'd pour in there when taking care of it. They can get waterlogged. The pots and the soil actually become waterlogged, and that causes frost in the winter months, and that causes cracks and rotted roots. So to protect your terracotta, see, I still can't talk. To protect your terracotta, my thrifty tip for that is either A, bring them inside during the winter, or B, you can actually give them a blanket made out of bubble wrap. No, really. Bubble wrap is the perfect insulation for terracotta planters. But if you don't have bubble wrap just lying around and, there's a blizzard coming and you're all of a sudden worried, temperatures are plummeting. If you don't have bubble wrap lying around, an old plastic bag filled with shredded paper or straw will do the trick. Soil amendments are nutrients. So just like humans need food, so do your plants. So I'm sure you already knew that, but you can actually take food scraps and use them as nutrients for your plants. So I'm talking things like ground up eggshells or banana peels. Those are amazing organic sources of nutrients. In fact, my husband, he adds coffee grounds to some of our house plants, and they've actually never looked greener. Just one word of advice: before you caffeinate all your plants like we do, again, different species do better with some types of amendments than others. So always do your homework first. But yeah, regardless, it's undeniable that kitchen scraps are just an easy and free way to get your soil fed. My number 6 thrifty tip for gardening is learn how to grow. Yeah, learn how to grow. That's what I meant. It's learn how to can the food that you grow. So if you grow fruits, veggies in your garden, learn how to preserve them so they can be enjoyed both now and later. Canning's probably going to take a little bit of patience, but it's going to save you some dollars and cents at the grocery store. And, besides, who doesn't love homemade jam? Get friendly with other gardeners. I mean, if you don't already have a buddy or two who enjoys playing in the dirt, look on Facebook or check out a local community center. I know lots of communities, churches have community gardens. So the people that the people you meet in these groups, you guys can swap seeds, you can swap secrets, you can propagate each other's plants. There's tons of possibilities here. So yeah, you definitely want to get friendly with other gardeners. My very last thrifty tip for gardening: collect rainwater. Use rainwater to water your plants. You can go online and buy a rain barrel, and a pretty one and a pretty decent one. It's going to be anywhere from $100 to $250 up front. But in the long run, it's going to save you hundreds because, you're not going to be using the water at your house. So that's a wrap for my thrifty tips on saving money while you're gardening. I hope you enjoyed my tips for stretching your dollars and embracing the art of frugality. Remember, being thrifty is not about being cheap. It's about unleashing your resourcefulness, igniting your creativity, and discovering clever ways to live your best life on a budget. And hey, make sure you visit seniorresource.com. It's your #1 source for retirement planning, caregiving tips, and living your best. And don't forget to subscribe so you're alerted on our next episode, where we'll continue to share valuable insights on how you can lead a rich and fulfilling life without breaking the bank. Until then, keep saving.